The leader of the Catholic Church is a man who obviously doesn't care what you may think of him. He has decided that no matter the controversy, he is assigned by God to speak his mind and effect change for life of all here on earth. However, how now for a now global political authority to tackle climate change? And it's not sitting well with a whole lot of people, especially those who live their lives by the Word of God and politics. This pairing features the co-host of Close Encounter TV, focusing on faith and values, Lisa Jandovitz, along with the veteran radio talker and Newsmax political analyst, Larry Elder. I thank you both for joining us. And Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and begin with you on this one. The Pope's encyclical, due to come out this week, it has already been leaked. He is going to reiterate that established science needs to take a lesson. Burning fossil fuels are warming the planet. He's calling for government policies to cut fossil fuel use. Now, let me just get to this, because if you're a Catholic, you believe that the Pope brings the Word of God. If you're a Catholic and a Republican, though, and one who doesn't believe in climate change, how do you then start to cut that difference?
Well, I think a lot of people are looking at this, as you just stated. How can the Pope bring up something, science, and connecting it with politics? And yet, what an encyclical is to do is to reaffirm church teachings, take contemporary issues. What the Pope is doing is taking this as a moral issue, and he is trying to connect the issue of global warming and how it affects particularly those the poor and those that are most vulnerable. And so what he is looking at is for people to, particularly because this is a Pope that is so immensely popular, when he speaks, world leaders listen, the media certainly listens, and he is hoping to get their attention, particularly before key economic, key environmental issues this year that are taking place. And he's hoping to get them to perhaps change the way policy and to change the way that they think. And he's somebody that can certainly do that. I don't think that if you are a Republican and a conservative, and if you're Catholic, that you necessarily, that those two would not mesh, because again, popes in the past have spoken about the environment. Pope John Paul II did. His message during the World Day of Peace talked about this, talked about the destruction of greenhouse gases and fossil fuels.
Indeed he does, and I do just want to interrupt you there, only because I'm short on time, and I want to make sure we get everything in here, too, and I want to get to Larry, because Lisa brings up a good point. This isn't as if a pope hasn't touched on this issue before, but if you are a conservative and you absolutely believe that climate change is false and there's nothing to it whatsoever, isn't it going to be awfully difficult when the leader of your church says, wait a minute, it is real and we have to deal with it?
Well, I think Lisa's right. There's nothing inappropriate about the Pope speaking out on this. By the way, he's got a degree in chemistry. My problem is the science, whether it's the Pope or whether it's a meteorologist or another climate change scientist or an actor speaking about this. Is your science grounded in reality? And what the Pope said to me was a factual major misstatement. And he said that the majority of climate change scientists not only believe that man is contributing to climate change, but that man is the major reason for climate change. I don't believe that is the consensus at all. That's my problem. I don't mind you weighing in, but make sure that you have your facts in a row. Doesn't look like he does, in my opinion.
And by the way, we do need to point out that there is some controversy and some question over whether or not he actually has a degree, as how it is given out in his country and how we see degrees here. He had some education in it, but some members of the Catholic Reporters also say that he does not have a degree, as some people have pointed out. We do need to make that.
Probably more expertise and background and education in the sciences than Al Gore.
Probably more. However, we do need to point out that he does not have a degree. Let's get to that. 90 seconds left. I know it's tough, but we got to get to this. I knew it. I knew you were going to make the Al Gore point. That's well in there. Rachel Dolezal, Larry Elder, are you insulted by Rachel Dolezal basically telling people flat to their face that she's black?
No, she's a lying opportunist, and it shows you a couple of things, that racism is no longer a major problem in America, as I've been saying for years. Why would a white person lie and say she's black unless there are advantages? The same reason Elizabeth Warren lied and said she was a Native American. There are advantages in being a minority. It's why Loretta Sanchez ran under her maiden name Brixley, lost, and then ran under her married name Brixley and lost, and then ran under her maiden name Sanchez and won. It's not all that bad being a minority in America, and I think Rachel Dolezal shows us that, Ed.
But doesn't she also show that you're a liar and you can get away with it as a con artist?
Yeah, she's getting rewarded with the reality TV show, I understand. And by the way, she's never
we
once
don't know
said
that yet.
in any of the interviews,
that's a rumor, maybe. That's a rumor, maybe, if that happens, but that's not quite yet. Lisa, let me come to you on this. How do you look at all this? Because basically, at the end of the day, she's a liar.
She is, and I don't think she ever thought she was going to be exposed. And she just keeps on compounding the lies. The one thing I took from all of this is that she never came out and apologized, never came out and took responsibility and said, you know what, I am a white person. I lied. I was born white. Now she's saying that she doesn't know if these are her parents. She didn't take a DNA test. She's saying she's not sure. She has a birth certificate, but nobody was there present during her birth. So she just keeps on compounding the lie.
I'm telling you, it just keeps getting better and better. And Larry, she doesn't have that reality show yet, but let's just say yet, because likely somebody's going to offer it to her sooner or later. Larry Elder, Lisa Jandovitz, all out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll do it again real soon. Coming up next, right here on The Hard Line, a former Marine traversing the United States and changing lives, one haircut at a time. It's coming up next, right here on The Hard Line.